Okay, so this is going to be the easiest test in the world. You don't have to be a physicist or a doctor or anyone to learn how to test this thing, because it's going to be the easiest test in the world. All you need is a thermostat. Okay, you can get this. Okay, just an infrared thermostat. Okay, and we're going to use it to measure the temperature of the coil. After that, I will explain it. Okay, if you point at it right now, the coil is 65 degrees. You see that little red thing? 65 degrees, 66, almost 66. Okay, 65.5, 65.6, that's an average. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the clock. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. Yes, it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. We're going to learn something very easy from this. Okay, so I'm going to leave that back. I'm going to take this one here. Well, actually, I'm going to measure both of them so you can see. You don't need no scientific on this one. 65.5. I'm going to measure this coil again. 65.3, 65.1, 66, 64. Depending when you're at 65.2. Right in the center of them there. Okay? And my bracelet, I don't have anything. Okay? The table, let's measure that. Just measure the white area, 65 point something. So the bracelet and the table and everything else. Let me measure this. 67, 64. This thing right here, the blue thing, I only put this here so the paper and this, it's just for the camera to pick up, okay? So again, this blue thing is 64 something degree. The paper is 64 something degree. The coil right on top of here, 64.1. This one, this coil, 64 something. Okay, so now we know the temperature of those. I'm going to leave everything here. I'm going to put one on so we can see the changes in the temperature. Now I'll just put one on. I'm going to show you the clock. Again, it's almost 4 o'clock. We are going to come back in 1 hour or more, and then we're going to do it 2 hours or more. That way you can see the changes in the temperature of this. What is temperature? What is heat? Radiation. Very simple how this works, and I'm going to explain it very easy. You don't need a physicist. You don't need to be a scientist. You don't need to be anything. Very easy how to understand this. Your body have heat, right? We know that. That's why it's warm. What happens is when you put this on, that heat, or known as radiation, transfer to here. Then it's going to go to the coil to heat it up. When it's heating it up, it has nowhere else to go but to leave. So basically, we are using this so that way heat or radiation escape. That's it. You do not have to be a scientist. You do not have to be a physicist. You don't have to be anybody to understand this concept. And I just show it to you. Very easy. Okay? So now we're going to come back in an hour, and I'm going to measure it, and then I'm going to come back in 2 hours, give and take, and I'm going to measure it. And we're going to see how it changes. Okay? So now it's actually 4:45, a little bit over 4:45. Okay? And that's 1 hour. Sorry, when I do videos, I'm standing like up here, upside down. So anyway, I cover the bracelet with it. Okay? So I can get more out of it. At this time, yeah, I know I am up a lot. At 3:45 in the morning, doing a video for people. Okay, now we're going to measure this. See that? 80 something degree. 88 degree. Okay? Right there. Now I'm going to take it off. I'm going to put it right there. And we're going to measure that coil. Right. Okay, when it's out, now it's losing 68 in here. Okay, you just saw 70. See it? Okay, when it's out, see how fast it's losing? Now it's back to 66 again. So when it's on my hand right now, let's see how much it is now. It's losing a lot. It's losing very fast. 64, 68, 67, 67 something, 67, 68. Okay, this coil stays the same no matter where I go. Okay, I'm gonna go back and forth so you can see. Okay, no matter where I go, because I didn't wear that. Let's see how much this one left. Still at 66, 67. Okay, because it's losing. So in here, inside here, it's 80. See that? So when it's inside, it is 80 degree. 84 over there. Okay? So when I was on my hand, it was 88. When I take it off, it's losing. Out here, it's going to lose fast. 64 now is back to the room temperature. 66, 65, 67 right there in the center. So yeah, that's how you measure it. That's how easy it is. And then you put it back on. As you can see, let's do this one. This one we haven't touched it. 63, right? Let's do this for just a few minutes. Okay. I'm going to put the clock here. And I'm going to speed that up. Okay, I had to support my hand here because it got tired. But anyway, that's about 2 minutes there, okay? We're gonna measure this in 2 minutes and see how high we got. Just by 2 minutes. 83 degree. You notice I'm only gonna point at the copper only, okay? See that? 83 degree, just the copper only. Don't point it at your hand. 84 degree. Just 2 minutes. It ran from about 60 something degree. Right now the room is a little colder. 62. I even give it 65. From 65, it jumped to 80 something degree. 84 right there right now. You see that? That's how fast this coil gets hot. What is hot? Radiation. What is radiation? It's from our body. Okay? Okay, so now this is almost 2 hours later. 5 more minutes, it'll be 2 hours. Okay? I still have mine on. I covered it. You don't have to cover it because it's nighttime, but I covered it because I like to wear my long sleeves sweater. So, now we're going to measure the temperature again. 89 degree, 91 degree there, 93, 90, 89, 93 on that corner. Notice I just hit this only, okay? 89, 90. Noticed only on the coil, okay? 91, see that? Right there, 91. You see the red mark? Okay? And that's 2 hours later, and I was able to reach to 91. So 1 hour we got up to 84, and then now is 91. You see how it's climbing? So that means it's going to continue to climb until it almost hit your skin. Let's measure the skin. 90. Let's measure up here. 89, 90. 93 there. So it's actually even hotter than my skin. Right now my skin is 91. It's almost matching. 93, 91. 91. And I'm only doing the coil. 89 there. What's inside? I didn't measure that one. Let's try that one. 90. Oh, right there. 87, 91. So we get up to about 91. Right now mine is 92, 91. So it almost to the same temperature. But remember, it's leaving. Okay? Now before I go, I am going to draw something for you so you can understand even further how the bracelet works in the normal world, okay? Because you don't need to be a scientist, you don't need to be a doctor, you don't need to be anything to understand what I have just presented to you. But I'm going to go even further to actually draw it out for you. Okay? Okay, so now I'm at the thing and I got myself a little marker to present it to you. I'm going to show you how things work. This is your arm. Okay? That's your arms, that's your hands. Sorry, I can't draw good. When you put the coil, these two, touching it, and then the wire comes out and it goes into a coil. Okay? Pretend that's our bracelet. What happens is radiation will travel because radiation is an attraction, a decay. So it actually have positive and negative. Okay? When it splits, it stucks inside your body It's here. Pretend those are these. It travels through your blood. So, we gave it to something on the skin. Sorry if I touched the thing there. For it to move. Because there's a thing called an attraction. Okay? That's how this life works. Everything is an attraction, or the so-called metal. So these little particles able to travel now. Positive and negative go up. It goes into here. So now it's being trapped. Before that, it was nothing. Now it has a lot of particles in them. And when we measure this with this, it jumped from, let's say, 65 degrees to about 84 degrees. Under 2 minutes. That's how fast these things travel. You can see right there. You notice they said radiation travels in the speed of light. Some of it, yes. Some of them, no. When it dies and when it goes to too low, it doesn't travel that fast. But you saw how fast it traveled from 65 degrees to 84 degrees under 2 minutes, or in 2 minutes. So now we have a lot of them here. But here's the problem. These two, they don't like each other. So when they get up to here, they fight. Because they're positive and negative, they don't like each other. They won't stick. They cannot stick. So what they do is they leave in waves. Just like that. So basically, this thing here, it's like a bridge. Pretend this is water. And here's the hill, but there's no bridge. You have a car. How are you going to go over there? I invented a bridge. Now your car is able to drive over. Okay? That's it. So before that, people didn't realize what I have did or done. And the way for that was, it has to be in a coil. And when it's in the coil, because when I understood, finally I was able to understand how these things moves. And because, like I stated in my first video, which I released it about 1 year ago, I understand how a motor works. So by doing that, I was able to understand how these things moves. And that's why there's two metals in here. One is for the negative and one is for the positive, or beta particles. They call it beta. Positive and negative. When radiation dies, this big thing dies, it splits into three things: alpha, beta, and gamma. Okay? And that's all there is. I happen to understood something, so I made a bridge. Now the car can go over to the river. And that's the easiest way to understand. Easiest way to understand this bracelet. So now, everything moves through your body. You can actually hold this in your hand too if you want. Just like that. And it'll work too. It's just that I happen to design it so it can stay on our wrist. And also it looks a little prettier. But we need the coil. The coil is where the secret is. And that's why it works the way it does. So to understand that is very easy. So what happened when you remove this? Before I go, what happened when you remove it? Let's say you have 1,000 of these little things linger in your body. Now you're able to remove 500, just 500, okay? Let's say the bracelet can remove 500. Now you only have 500 left. So what happened? Your body will ease. So you will feel better. Instead of carrying 1,000, now you're only carrying 100 or 500, sorry. So now you're only carrying 500. So instead of 1,000, now you are carrying 500. And yes, our body does this all the time. And that's why it's important to wear the bracelet. So it can help to, I call it, dissipate. It actually leaves. And that's when we take the bracelet off, it starts to cool down. So you can actually, literally, cool it down in your fridge. Not in the fridge, in your refrigerator. And then put it back on again. It'll help even faster. But I stated many times, you can just put a magnet in here. And that's where the magnet comes from. And in the DIY, there's one with the magnets. And that's the one that's going to help you expel or leaving faster. Okay? Before I go, one more time. You don't need to be a scientist to understand this one. You don't need to be a physicist to understand this one. Because all you need is this. And you'll be able to understand how radiation travels or move or transfer. Yep. That's it. Other than that, that's about it on this video. I will see you in the next video.